Hello and good day to you. Today's video will be designing the upper part of our crochet hanky hem top. To design this garment, we need our tension swatch, machine knitting, hand knitting or crochet. And we'll be using DesignA Knit software to design. I'm using version 8 of the software and the complete version, but if you have the standard version of it, you can use it, since we'll be focusing on standard garment styling section of the software. Open the DesignA Knit software, click on standard garment styling, new garment. The wearer is an adult, gender female, garment type sweater, sleeve setting, front neck V, back neck straight. You can make it any style you want, but I'll just go on straight. Then click on OK. Knitting method I'll be using, we'll go for the hand knit this time around. I've already designed two, and those ones were on machine knitting. I did one on short sleeve and one on long sleeve. So for this, we just go on hand knitting, but we'll be using a crochet tension swatch, and the stitch for the crochet stitch is double crochet UK. So click on OK. The unit of measurement is in inches. So I'll input the inches here. The tension swatch. Stitches per inch is 5 and rows per inch is 2. Although I'm not knitting cuff necks, I'm not knitting any cuff, neckband or welt, I'll just input the same figure here. Tension die setting or needles. Since I'm using crochet stitch, I'll just say crochet. Oh, I should say double crochet. Double crochet, DC, also known as DC, and the UK is the UK version. The yarn I'm using is 100% acrylic. And I'll put the brand here so that I'll know. And for the yarn, it's a double knit yarn, so I'll have to put it double knit or DK. Oh, I didn't spell the Thomas. All right. When you're happy with the information, you click OK. The ease is classic, we want it to fit, then click OK. The fine body size, we'll use the standard size. You can use any size you have here. I'll just go for 36 inch, that's 92 centimeters. The bust is 36 inch, chest 36.2 inch, waist is 28.3, hip is 38.2 inch, and okay, the dress is not really important. the dress is not really important. Then click OK. For this, we'll design a short sleeve. I'll design a long sleeve later on, so that if you want to make the long sleeve version of it, you can do that, and if you want to make the short sleeve version of it, you can do that. The chest is same. All we need to alter here is the nape to garment length, and it's in inches, so that's about 15 inches. The arm length, since I'm going to make this short sleeve first, so the arm length is 8, and that's all. Just the nape to garment length and the arm length. The ease is still the same, classic, and you won't change any of the ease here because we're going to sew. We're going to sew. So all this will take care of the sewing and any other alteration. Then click on OK. So here's our garment. But we don't need the welt, we don't need the cuffs, and we don't need the neckband. So we're going to remove that. Click on the icon on the left, the first one that says styling for the garment, that has a V-neck option there. That has a V-neck on it. Click on it, and on the welt, and for the welt, sorry, put 0. The welt is gone. Click on apply and click on OK. Click on the next icon with a round neck. If you hover around it, or if you hover over it, it says styling for the garment neck. Click on it. Neckband 0. Neck width, I'm just going to leave it like so. And V straight, I'll put 0. Click on apply and click on OK. The neck seems too deep. The neck depth seems too deep. So what I have, I'm going to play with centimeters because I have some figures in centimeters offhand. So I'm going to click on option. Unit of measurement, and click on centimeters. Click on OK. And then we'll come back to this icon with the round neck. Click on it. And for the V-neck depth, we'll make it 14. Don't want it to be too deep down that my bust will start showing. I don't want that, so that's why I'm taking it up. The neck width, I'm going to make it 20.3. Click on apply and then click on OK. Why I made the neck width 20.3 is because I reduced the depth of the neck of the V. Then we need to remove the band from this sleeve. So click on the sleeve icon. It says styling for the garment sleeve. Click on it, and the cuffs, or the cuffs of both sides, the figure should be 0. Click on apply and click on OK. Here we have our garment, short sleeve. We'll need the triangle scarf and we'll attach it to the base of the top. So we need to save our work. Click on File, click on Save As. I already have one in Machine Knitting Tension. So to save it, I'll click on it, and I'll I'll go for the short sleeve. instead of machine it, I'll say crochet short sleeve, and then click on save. To alter it to a long sleeve, we're still going to use this, but we'll save it. We will not save over it. So to make it a long sleeve, I'm just going to check for the sleeve. I was supposed to make a long sleeve first before then I can alter it, since I don't have the long sleeve measurement. Then I can, the sleeve measurement for the long sleeve I only have for the short sleeve. So to get that, I'm just going to come back to the long sleeve of the machine knitted one and check the figure 58.4 for the arm length. That's the only figure we need. So I'll come in here and open, come back to the crochet short sleeve, click on this lady with the tape measure that says adjust the existing measurements manually. Then in the arm length, you're going to click 50, the figure will be 58.4, and then we'll click on OK. That's just what we want to alter, just the sleeve. Then we'll go to File, Save As. Instead of short sleeve, I'm going to make it long sleeve. So now we have a long sleeve saved in another name. So let's go to the work surface where we'll make the, I'm not going to demonstrate this on the knitting machine, because just a normal cardigan, and I have videos on cardigans, on how to make a cardigan. So I'll just demonstrate the crochet hanky hem and also how to sew and do the finishing. So let's go and knit the crochet scarf for our top. We are now on the work surface to make the crochet hanky hem and machine knitted top. For this, we'll need sewing thread. If you're using sewing machine, if you want to hand sew, you will need a tapestry needle, but I'm using a sewing machine. We need sewing pins, our gauge. This is for the upper part of the blouse, which we've designed on the charting software. So for this gauge, 1 inch is 2 rows and 5 stitches. The stitches are in double crochet. We need about 700 to 800 grams of yarn, 100% acrylic. So I've already knitted the top. This is a short sleeve, V-neck. I've knitted the upper part of the top on the knitting machine. You can see that the edges are rolling because I didn't put a welt. I don't want a welt. I wanted that when we put attach the hanky hem to the, when we attach the hanky hem to the edge of the top, we'll have something to grip there. So I knitted about 4 rows, as if I'm making a mock rib, and then picked the loops. to form so that we have something to grip on. Then we made 4 hanky hem. Sorry, we made 4 triangular scarves for our hanky hem. I've made it in pattern colored yarn and I've made it in plain colored yarn. So I'll demonstrate it in plain colored or solid colored yarn so that you see the design and how we are going to knit it. So this is 1, there's 2, 3, and this is the 4th one. And there's a top for it. So I'll put this aside. The that I made, this self-patterning yarn is in a short sleeve. I did it in short sleeve and I did it in long sleeve, so that if you want it in short sleeve you can do it. If you want it in long sleeve you can do that too. So the same, we have 4. I'll just open it. So it's a triangular scarf. I'm going to make 4 of them and then we'll attach them to the edge of the top. Make this triangle. So here I'm just bringing this. These are the sleeves. And this is the back of the garment and this is the front of the garment. You can see the v-neck on the front. The back is straight. Although I've made the v-neck off a bit, not centralized, a bit off the center, for the patterned colored yarn or the self-patterning yarn, I made the v-neck to be centralized. So I'll put this aside and we'll just crochet. I will crochet the scarf. Then we add this together. We add the parts together, go to the sewing machine and then start sewing. So it's time for us to make the scarf to use for the hanky hem of our crochet. Hanky hem and machine knitted top. To make a scarf, take the yarn. This is the tail of the yarn on one side and the yarn feeding on the other side. And you have the tail of the yarn. So from the feeding part, wind the yarn around your first finger to create a tension. We need to make 3 chains. The tail of the yarn is between the thumb and the second finger. Make a loop and secure the loop, the end of the loop, between the thumb and the second finger. Insert the crochet hook into the loop made. Still keep the edge of the loop secured between the thumb and the second finger. Wind the yarn around, or wind the crochet hook around the yarn from the feeding side and pull the yarn through the loop. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn again and pull it through the loop. Then release the yarn or edge held by your thumb by your thumb and second finger and just pull it in place, and you have a chain made. Your chain is now secure. You don't need to, but if you don't want to this process, you can just tie a loop and start making your chains from there. So we have our first chain. So we have our first chain. When you pull it tight, you have a first chain. But if you put it loosely, you have two chains. So pull it tight to secure it. But the chain should not be tight because you're going to walk into it later on. So you don't want it to be tight. You want the crochet hook to be able to go into it. So wind the yarn around the hook, pull through, wind around the hook, and pull through the loop. You have 3 chains now. This is the foundation row. We need to knit row 1. And to knit row 1, we need to make 3 double crochet into the first chain space. Instead of making 3 double crochet, these 2 chain will act as 1 double crochet, or DC. Being abbreviated is known as DC. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn. Insert the crochet hook into the first chain space, into the first chain. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn and pull yarn through. So wind the second crochet hook around the yarn. Insert the crochet hook into the first chain space, or into the first. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn. Insert the crochet hook into the first chain. Wind it around the yarn again and pull a loop, or pull the yarn through the first chain. On the crochet hook, you have 3 loops. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn and pull through 2 loops, and you'll be left with 2. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn again and pull the yarn through 2 loops, and you'll be left with 1 loop on the crochet hook. It's looking like 2 DC, or 2 double crochet. That's because the first double crochet is made using the 2 chains we did for the foundation row. So now we need a 3rd double crochet. So wind the crochet hook around the yarn, insert into the first chain space, wind the crochet hook around the yarn, pull yarn through pull the yarn through, and you're left with 3 loops on the crochet hook. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn, pull it through 2 loops, wind the crochet hook around the yarn and pull it through 2 loops. 1 loop remaining on the crochet hook. We've completed the first row. 3 DC into the first chain makes the first row. To make the second row, we'll make a chain. We call it the turning chain. So wind the crochet hook around the yarn and just pull through the loop, and you have made a chain. That is a turning chain. So turn your work. We have to work the second row. And for the second row, we'll be doing a double crochet. I'm just going to split this so that you see them clearly. We'll be doing a double crochet into the space between the first double crochet and the second double crochet. So now we wind the crochet hook around the yarn. Insert the crochet hook into between the first double crochet and the second double crochet. Wind it around the yarn again and pull a loop through, and you have 3 loops on the crochet hook. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn and pull it through 2 loops. You're left with 2 loops on the crochet hook. Wind the crochet hook around the yarn and pull it through 2 loops, and you are left with 1 loop on the crochet hook. I'm demonstrating this for those that this is the first time they might have seen the design and they want to learn how to make a double crochet, or they want to learn to make this design. For experienced crafter or crocheter, it's just double crochet. You already know how to make double crochet. For those that don't know how to make double crochet, this is how to make it. So wind this yarn around the crochet hook. Insert into the space between the first and the second DC or double crochet. Wind the yarn around the hook and pull the yarn through. We're left with 3 loops on the crochet hook. Wind the yarn around the hook and pull through 2 loops. You're left with 2 loops. Wind the yarn around the crochet hook and pull it through 2 loops, the remaining 2 loops, and you're left with 1 loop. So we have 2, we've made 2, we need to make 3. So I'll just do it. I'll refer to these 3 crochet, I'll call them a set. I'll say set, I'll refer to them as a set from now on. I'll refer to the 3 double crochet in a space as a set. So for us to make the second set of double crochet, we'll need to make a chain. So wind the crochet hook around the yarn and just pull through the loop to make a chain. We've made a chain. And we'll make a set of double crochet in between the second and the third double crochet stitch. So wind it and just make the double crochet. Make 1 set of double crochet. So here we have 2 sets. One thing you should notice about this design, this triangular design, is that at each end, first of all, one thing you should notice about this triangular design is that the number of sets you have refers to the number of rows you are working on. It's the same as the number of rows that you are working on. So the first row we have 1 set of double crochet. The second row we have 2 sets of double crochet. The third row we're going to have 3 sets of double crochet. And another thing you need to notice is that, let me bring your finished one to explain that. If you take a look at the edge of you will notice that there is the design that, although we have design in each chain space, you will notice that although we have design in each chain space, that's a set of double crochet in each chain space, we also have a design, a set of double crochet at the end, which are uniform. That is because we made a set in between the first and the second double crochet of a previous row. We repeated, and on the left side we did the same between the second and the third double crochet, the last double crochet of the into the second and the last double crochet of the previous row. So if you notice, they are uniform. And this is row 1, this is row 2, and this is row 3. And in row 4, you will notice also that row 4 has 4 sets. Row 5 has 5 sets. Row 6 has 6 sets. Until you've gotten to the end until you've gotten to the edge of your design. And you can, when you get to the end, you can measure your design to make sure your design can tell you how many rows to knit, or it can tell you in unit of measurement so that when you place your tape to measure and you get to that unit, you have to stop. You can also, if you use the same gauge, if you are able to achieve the same gauge, then when you get to that row, you can stop. So I'll put this aside and we'll just continue crocheting. Also, we will need to knit 4 of these triangular crochet. So we need to knit 4 of this triangular crochet design. The chart will be on the blog so that you follow it, and when you look at the chart, you will still know what to do. You follow the chart, you follow the video, and you know what to do. So you have to knit 4 of these triangular design. So at the end of the second row, we'll do a turning chain. Don't forget your turning chain. It's going to make your work very neat. Then between the first and to make the third row, or to make the next row, after making the turning chain, between the first and the second DC of the previous row, or between the first and the second double crochet of the previous row, you're going to make a set of double crochet. And for this design, a set of double crochet means you have to make 3 double crochet into that space. After the set of double crochet, you need to make a chain before you make the next set of double crochet. This prevents your work from gathering, from clustering, puckering. It enables your work to stay flat. So you see, between the second and the third double crochet of the previous row, we are going to make a set of double crochet and then our turning chain. So we've made the third row, and you can see that our knitwear is flat, at the same time is following a nice edge. You can see that the edge is nice. We don't really need to shape it because it's taking shape. And the edge is as if it's straight. Not forgetting the turning chain. You continue following the chart or instruction until we finish So we'll make 4 hanky hem scarf for the garment to attach to the hem of our machine knitted or crocheted top, depending on which of the pattern you're following. And the top can be long sleeve or short sleeve. You can also knit a scarf if you desire. And don't make your knit too loose. Don't crochet too loose. If you do crochet too loose, use a smaller crochet hook. And when you are used to the pattern, you can watch movies and be crocheting. You find out that you can just assign a scarf a day to crochet. When you become very perfect in it, 1 or 2 hours, you'll be able to crochet a scarf under 1 hour or 2, depending on how fast you are. So I'm on the 5th row now. Do my turning chain. And we'll be using the scarf. We'll be using this scarf for a lot of projects. Edge of gowns, scarf on the head to make skirts. And into the chain space, I don't know if I mentioned that you have to do a set. Chain space of the previous row, you have to do a set. A set of double crochet. So just repeat again for the seventh row, and I'll do the others off camera. By the time I put on the camera, we'll be attaching the finished triangular scarf to the edge of our machine knitted or crocheted top. So I've done my turning chain, and I'm going to do a set of DC, which is 3 DC or 3 double crochet into between the first and the second double crochet of the previous row. When I've done that, I'll do a chain to separate this set from the next set I'm doing. And in the chain space of the previous row, I'm going to do a set of double crochet. A chain, and the space between the sorry, let me just explain this before I taking a look at the design. I'll just explain this again. Taking a look at design, you'll notice that in the body of the design, the set of double crochet is done in the chain space of the previous row. Why for the edges, the set of double crochet is done between the first and the on the right hand side is done between the first and the second double crochet of the previous row, or and for the left hand side is done between the second and the last double crochet of the previous row. So into the chain space, one chain, and into the chain space of the previous row, a set of DC. to get ourselves ready, we are going to start pinning the front of the sweater, the front of the top to the back of the top. We'll have to pin them on the shoulder. So right side, knit side, there's a purl side, the stockinette stitch. So right side facing right side, armhole to armhole, pin the shoulders together, front shoulder to back shoulder. Before you start pinning the sleeves, we have to pin the front shoulder to the back shoulder. And I'm not pinning it, I'm pinning it while I'm using the style of pins on it. Why I'm pinning it like so is because I want the edges when I'm sewing. I don't want to be, if I pin it like how you pin binding for quilt, it's not going to help me to stretch the edges, and I want the edges to stretch so that my the sewing needle just go through it without having the stress of me trying to adjust seam ends while sewing. It's going to delay my work. So that's why I prefer pinning like so. It helps me to stretch the edges of the knitwear. So I'm going to pin this other side, the shoulders. And then we'll sew that on the sewing machine. So we sew these shoulders first, then we'll come back and attach the sleeves. I just quickly sew the shoulders and when I'm sewing the sleeves, we'll go to the sewing machine together. So I've sewn the shoulders together. So we have a thin seam. You don't need the seam to be bulky because you don't want the seam to be poking you when you are wearing the top or the blouse. So I'm going to open. You see how neat it is. When finish sewing, we darn in all the thread, we trim, we tidy. So taking the sleeve, we work on one sleeve first. To note the sleeve, where you have this round cap is the upper part of the sleeve. So this is the upper part of the sleeve. Fold in two or fold in half. Underarm to underarm. Then mark the top of the cap or the cap of the sleeve. Put a pin to mark the middle. And when you open it, you have the pin there. I'll just do the other one quickly. Fold in half, underarm to underarm. And the middle, we're going to mark with a pin. The upper part of, that's the cap of the sleeve. We're going to mark the middle of the cap with a pin. So that when we open it, the pin is there. So this top of the, this is the upper part of the garment, the front and the back. We want to attach the sleeve. So taking right side facing right side of the sleeve facing right side of the garment, pin this middle to the middle of the seam here. Then stretch out the other part and line them properly. If you notice, this was where we casted off. If you see the instruction, you will see it there, where you casted off when you start shaping the armhole. And this is this part for the sleeve. This is part for the front of the knitwear or garment. See that it matches perfectly. We'll do the same for the back side. So we've pinned one of the sleeve cap. We need to pin, I don't know if it's the right or left hand side, but we need to pin the other side. So we finish pinning. Let me see if I can just pin. Then when we finish sewing the cap of the sleeve, we'll come and sew the side of the side of the knitwear. And when we want to sew the side, we'll make sure this cross here matches perfectly. If not, it will be uncomfortable when you wear it, so make sure it matches properly. So let's go to the sewing machine. Let me quickly sew this and then we'll come for that. So we've stitched the cap of the sleeve, and you can see it. This yarn will darn it in when we finish. So wrong side, right side to right side, working on the wrong side. We need to pin the underarm. So make sure it lines properly. And then we'll pin. Pin the side seam. And then we extend to the sleeve. So I'll do the other side quickly. Match the underarm, the seam of the underarm first. And pin them together. So we'll go to the sewing machine now and sew our garment. We use the normal sewing stitch using a return stitch so that it sews backward. And if you're finding it difficult, just pull the yarn, the loose yarn, and your knitwear will fit through when you are knitting. I'm using back stitch to sew. To attach the crocheted scarf to the edge of the top, we'll need to measure. And to measure that, we'll need to measure the edge, the base of the top. So I just place the tape measure. It's about 55 centimeters. 55 for the front, 55 for the back. Times 2, 55 centimeters for the base, 55 centimeters for the base times 2 is 110. And we are using 3 scarves instead of 4 because I don't want it to be too full. We're using 4th scarf as a hair scarf. I've already made one with 4 scarves and it's quite full. I use the self-patterning yarn, the short sleeve version that I did with a self-patterning yarn. We use the 4 scarf for that. So I want to use lesser for this. So 55 for the front, the base of the front top and 55 for the base of the back, for the back side of the top. That's 110 centimeters. So 110 centimeters divided by 3 scarves is going to be 36.67. So approximately 37. Or can say 36.7 centimeters. So what we are going, I'll just put this aside first and we'll come with the scarf. So we're going to measure 36 or 36.7 centimeters. So for the 36.7 centimeters, what I'm going to do first, for the first scarf, we have to measure it. Each scarf, we have to measure 36.7 of it. So I'm going to fold the scarf in half so that it's this upper part is what we're going to attach to the base of the garment. Then this will be the hanky hem, and this will droop to form more hanky hem. So putting the scarf I folded it in half so that I can decide, I can make it symmetrical. I just measure one side and I'll be able to use it. So 36.7, that's what we need to measure. So 36.7 divided by 2, since I folded it, is going to be 18.35. So with the tape measure, I'm just going to place it from the middle here since it's folded. So 18.35. So I just then with a pin, I'll come in with a pin. I'm using different colors so that I think we should go closer now. So with the pin, I'll just mark 18.35 there. I'll mark the same for the back side. I'm using different colors, so I'm just going to mark this one. So I've placed one for the back, a green, and I've placed one for the front. I'll bring the others and do same for them. You can measure if you want to, or you can just follow the same path place that the pin is on, but I prefer to measure each one separately. And the third one, I'll repeat. So now that I've placed pins, oh, I think I mistakenly stitched the front of one to the back. Okay. Now I've placed pins on each one. This is the front, I've placed it. And you can see the pins to act as markers there. We'll open the scarf. Just open one of the scarf and we have our pin marking here and here. So taking this other scarf, I'm gonna place it, and where we have the pin marking, if you can decide which one you want to sew first, you need to sew the remaining parts to the edge. Then between the two pin markings, you will not sew that part, because that part is going to be attached to the base of the knitwear, or to the base of the top. So I just bring in the top, and I'll bring in the first scarf. Okay, to sew that, because it's going to be hidden, let's do this one first, because by the time we finish sewing, that part will be hidden and it will be difficult to demonstrate. And we can just, when we go to the sewing machine, we can just sew all of them together. So taking a pin, I've placed two scarves together. I've placed two scarves together, and with the pin marking on one side, the pin marking on one side, I'm going to pin one of the scarves to the second scarf. Leave the middle between the other pins, and we'll work on this side first. So we just pin the little edge remaining. We'll pin them together. We'll sew them when we get to the sewing machine. You can do this part after you finish sewing the base, the crocheted scarf to the base of the top. You can do it now too. Why I'm demonstrating it now is because by the time we attach everything, the part is going to be hidden and to be so difficult to demonstrate. That's why I'm demonstrating it now that we can. But on the right hand side, we won't pin it. That is because we have only two scarves here, and the third scarf is waiting to be attached. So if I open it, you see there's only one side that is being attached. We're trying to form a ring in the middle now. So I'll put the third scarf, and where the pin of this, the edge of the first scarf here meets, we'll attach it to this third scarf here, pin it, and the remaining small hem will be pinned. We are going to sew that one on the sewing machine. this little hem edge that we are making here, we drop when we finish sewing it. You don't need to sew it too tight. It will drop and it will add to the, it will add a flare to the hanky hem, and it will make the base properly covered. So on this other side, we'll repeat. Now we have a circle in the middle. This is how we're going to attach this. We're not going to attach this to the base of our top. You can see the opening in the middle. So this opening is where the top is going to attach it to the top. So bringing the top, you can decide where you want to start from. Make sure all seams are in the same direction. If you want the seam outward, then all seams should be outward. And you start pinning. You can use any stitch you desire, like zigzag, blanket stitch, back stitch. When using back stitch, please note the area where we have the chain stitch. You might, if you're not careful, you will omit that, and then you have to be as if you're having hole in your work. You don't need to use too much pins, but you can if your work is rolling. If you have a rolled edge, you can use as much pins as you want. You don't want to be, you want to sew, you don't want to start arranging the edge of knitwear on the knitting machine, because you have to be careful of your fingers. And if you stretch, if you pin the edge properly, all you need to do on the sewing machine is just take the pins out and you stitch. It helps, it prevents you from doing adjustment there, trying to adjust the edge, because you know we have a rolled edge because we did the stockinette stitch. So we've pinned one side, and you can see the hanky hem is forming. So continue pinning, pin around. After that, we'll go to the sewing machine and we'll stitch it. If you want to do hand sewing, or you want to do double crochet stitch, if you want to do hand sewing, or you want to do single crochet stitch to seam the edges together, you are free to do it. Remember, you are the designer. Also note that if you do that and a little yarn loses, it's going to lose the binding of the knitwear of the knitted top to the crocheted hanky hem edge. So whatever stitch you desire to use, just do what you know is suitable for the garment you are creating. I'll put the garment pattern on the blog, and you can go there. You see that it fits properly. I'm already at the edge. Because we did a measurement, it fits properly. You can see it fits properly. So we finish pinning, and we'll go to the sewing machine and sew. This edge will be stitched after we finish stitching the base to it. Then this pinned edge we did first because of I said it will be hidden when we finish stitching this, so I have to demonstrate it first. This edge will not be stitched next. So when you're on the sewing machine, you can just stitch. After stitching around the base of the top, sewing the base of the top to the crochet hanky hem edge, then you can come in here to stitch this drooping triangle, and it will add nice flare. Also, don't stitch it to the tip. Yes, that's another nice tip. Tip or trick on it. Don't stitch it to the tip. If it is stitched to the tip, it's going to give you a kind of pointy edge at the end. You don't want that. So when you get to the tip, just leave it, let it fall a bit flat. Just leave about 1 centimeter or 0.5 centimeter from the edge when you are doing this this small triangle that is going to drop, so that the design will be flat on when you wear it. It's not going to be, yes, it's going to stand some, I don't know how to describe it, but if you stitch it to the edge, you will notice it when you put it on. It's not going to be flat and flattering. It's going to be pointy. You don't want it to pointy. You want it to be flat. You want it to glide naturally. So don't stitch it to this triangle. Not going to stitch it to the end. We're going to leave 0.5 centimeters or 1 centimeter of the edge. So let's go to the sewing machine. I'll just quickly go to the sewing machine and sew it. Then when we come back, I'll be wearing wood. Okay, no. When we come back, I'll be darning in, and then Well, let me just darn in so that when we come back, I'll be wearing. Going to take too much time anymore. If you want to darn, so that you if you are going to darn some of the yarn, to darn the loose yarn, take the crochet hook, a thin head crochet hook, just insert it into the knitwear, weave it in and out, insert it to the seam of the knitwear, weave it in and out, wind the yarn around. When the hook is out, wind the yarn around the hook and just pull it through. Now we've moved the tail of the yarn from the edge inward. We'll do the same for the part, and with the embroidery scissors you can now trim. You can go as far as you want. You can now trim. So I repeat on this side. I'll continue for this other one. This one's been stitched, so I'll just trim it off. So I have one part here where I tied the yarn. Take the crochet hook into the seam of the knitwear and we just weave in and out of the seam. Make sure it's the seam, because if it's not the seam, it's going to appear on the right side of your work. That's why you have to make sure it's the seam. Wind the yarn around the hook, the crochet hook. You can use a tapestry needle if you want to, and just pull through, and the tail of the yarn will be on the other side. Then with a scissors, you can just trim off the excess. Be careful so that you don't cut into your garment or your knitwear. So I'll do the same for this side. You can take it on the side. Now you see we have a knit edge inside. Continue that process for any loose yarn, and then we'll trim off all the loose yarn even if you have thread, you trim them off so that you have a neat knitwear. So that's how to darn. So that is how to darn in loose yarn the knitwear. Let's go to the sewing machine and knit, and the next time I'll be modeling the garment. Thanks for joining me for this video. Until next time, happy crafting, happy designing, and bye for now.